Hello City Life family, I'm here to read another story to you today, along with Sparkly Sausage Dog. We're very much looking forward to reading you this, A Tale of Three Dolphins. Once there were three dolphins living in the deep turquoise sea around Spain. They were two brothers and a sister from the same pod. They swam everywhere together and you could hardly tell them apart unless you looked very closely. Dolores Dolphin always wore a clamshell and a pearl like a pretty bow on her back fin. Diego Dolphin swam everywhere with his pet starfish, Sammy, clinging onto his back fin. Diaz Dolphin always had a stripy ball with him, a treasure he had found one day floating on the waves a long way out from the beach. Diaz had learned how to balance the ball on his nose and flip it forward with his tail. His special trick was making it rise in the air when he blew bubbles out of his blowhole. Dolores and Diego whistled, clicked and squeaked with joy whenever Diaz performed his tricks. The three dolphins had so much fun together, surfing the waves or diving down to the rocks or chasing fish for their supper. But the thing they loved doing most was putting on a show for children. Most of the time, dolphins swim far away from the beach in deeper waters and no one knows they're even there. But sometimes they come a little closer, swimming across the bay, hoping that someone is looking out for them. They roll with the waves and then rise to the surface, pointing their back fins in the air, as if they are waving, hello. Then they go back under the water only to pop up again a few seconds later. It's like their way of playing peepo, like we humans do. If they see the children pointing and shouting with surprise and laughter, they get very excited and they whistle and click and squeak even more. Diaz will then flick his tail and leap into the air, jumping above the waves so his whole body is flying through the air for a second or two. If the water is calm, Dolores and Diego join in. But usually they just let Diaz show off his skills and they watch the smiles grow bigger and bigger on the faces of the children on the beach. It made them so happy, bringing joy and happiness to others. One day as they swam close to the beach in Nerja, they saw lots of children enjoying the sun and the sea. They're paddling in the water or floating in their rubber rings. Dolores loved the rings that looked like unicorns. Other children were building sandcastles on the beach and decorating them with white stones and shells. Some were playing ball, which of course made Diaz very excited. With a whistle and click, he began to jump out of the water. He jumped and jumped, and Dolores and Diego noticed the happy faces of all the children as they began to jump up and down on the sand with delight, pointing at Diaz. All the children except for two little boys who were crying. They'd been playing football on the sand when a big wave came and carried their ball away. The ball bobbed on the waves until it crashed into the rocks. The sharp rocks burst the ball, and now they had nothing to play with. Dolores and Diego felt sad seeing them cry, and Diaz stopped jumping. They liked to bring joy and see every child happy, so what could be done to stop their tears? Diego whistled and said, they need a new ball. Dolores clicked and agreed that only a new ball would make them smile again. Diaz looked at his stripy ball. He loved that ball so much and it brought him such joy balancing on his nose and flicking it in the air with his tail. But he would do anything to dry those children's tears and see them smile again. With a squeak, the three dolphins swam closer to the beach than they'd ever swam before. Diaz pushed the ball with his nose until it was a few waves away from the shore. He flicked his tail and the stripy ball bounced on the waves and onto the shore, landing right at the feet of the children who'd lost their ball. Suddenly everyone was pointing, clapping and laughing, including the little boys who'd been crying. They picked up the stripy ball and waved it in the air for the dolphins to see. Their smiles spread from ear to ear. Dolores, Diego and Diaz lifted their heads and whistled and clicked with delight. Diaz may have given up his treasure, but it had been worth it to see those smiles. And with that, they turned back to the open sea, waved their fins in the air as if to say goodbye, and disappeared back under the waves. So they were really happy helping others, but sometimes to do that, it costs something, doesn't it? And for Diaz, it cost him his stripy ball, his treasure. But he was happy to give that treasure up to those two little boys to bring them happiness. And that made him very happy indeed. It gave him bigger joy than the ball had given him in the first place. And sometimes when we're helping others or making others happy, we might need to give something that's precious to us to help them be happy. But we just need to know that every time we do that, the reward is bigger joy and greater happiness than if we kept those things to ourselves. So I just encourage us all to help others get happy, and if it costs us a little something now and again, just be blessed and know that it will bring you great joy as well as bringing them the joy they need too. Bye.